Big Trouble Little Trunks is the 4th episode of the World Tournament Saga and the 213th overall episode in the original dubbed and the uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on January 19th, 1994. Its original American air date was October 4th, 2001. This episode begins with Trunks in the ring as the new junior champion, which earned him the right to fight Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan is scared, but conceals his fear. Trunks cannot wait to fight Mr. Satan, because he wonders if Mr. Satan is truly as strong as people say he is. His family and friends apparently never told him the full story of how Mr. Satan became famous. Meanwhile, Goku, Krillin, Android 18, Vegeta, and Piccolo went to find something to eat, since they knew outcome of the match. In the outset, Mr. Satan tries to scare Trunks with some of his moves, but to no avail. Mr. Satan then tries to deceive Trunks by saying the match was just an exhibition match. Mr. Satan then fakes an injury to avoid the shame of losing. He tells the tournament announcer that he still has a knee injury from fighting Cell. Then Mr. Satan said that his knee was fine because he popped it back into place. So the tournament continues, and Mr. Satan is unable to trick Trunks. Mr. Satan then decides to outsmart him. He told Trunks that they have to start out with the champion's greeting, which is a soft hit on the opponent's face. Trunks says he understands, and Mr. Satan allows Trunks to give him a free shot. Trunks lightly punches Mr. Satan and knocks him out of the ring and into a wall. People thought Mr. Satan was out cold, but suddenly Mr. Satan started to move and got up. He said, "Wow, what a punch." The crowd thought he allowed Trunks to win. Meanwhile, Trunks became bored while being interviewed by a camera crew, so he leaves with Goten. Trunks and Goten are looking forward to be in the adult division. Then, Gohan and Videl enter the waiting room, where Goku and Vegeta are eating large amounts of food. Krillin says, "Good grief, you Saiyans are like bottomless pits." Videl then asks what a Saiyan is, but Gohan quickly told Krillin to keep quiet. The Z Warriors finish eating and head back to the arena to see the next fight. As they are on their way, they encounter two strangers. The Z Warriors immediately have a strange feeling about the two. One of the strangers comes up to Goku and asks if he was Goku by any chance. Goku said, yes. Then the stranger said he is looking forward to competing against Goku. After that, he said, "You can say I'm one of your biggest fans." The person asked Goku if he could shake his hand. Goku said, "Of course." After a while of shaking their hand, the person says that Goku is as brave as people say he is. As the two strangers are leaving, Piccolo says he has a bad feeling about them and that the strangers are strong. Goku agrees with him and says that they are very strong. Who Will Fight Who is the 5th episode of the World Tournament Saga and the 214th overall episode in the original dubbed and the uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on January 26, 1994. Its original American air date was October 5th, 2001. Trunks and Goten are sneaking into the competitors' area. Trunks tricks one of the competitors, Mighty Mask, and steals his costume, with Goten on the bottom and Trunks on the top, and the Mighty Mask's cape covering their bodies. They are now able to fight in the World Championships. The Z fighters enter the area in which the draw would take place. Goku takes a look at the other challengers, as Killer, Jewel, and Pinta all look to be pushovers. However, Spopovitch and Yamu are both very creepy looking, and what makes them even more peculiar is the fact they both the letter M embedded on their foreheads. Also, obviously, Shin and Kibito seem to be great fighters. When Goku spots Mighty Mask, he is stunned as they can hardly walk. Krillin says Videl does not look much like Mr. Satan, but is quite the looker. Gohan blushes and says I hadn't noticed. Krillin tells him to throw a little bit of charm and Videl will go out with him. Gohan gets embarrassed, saying that he never liked her. Krillin, however, believes he likes her. After all was said and done, these are the standings. 1. Krillin vs. Pinta. 2. Shin the Supreme K vs. Ma Jr. or Piccolo. 3. Videl vs. Spopovitch. 4. Kibito vs. Gohan. 5. Android 18 vs. Mr. Satan. 6. Goku vs. Vegeta. 7. Mighty Mask vs. Killer. 8. Yamu vs. Jewel. The announcer then tells the fighting rules to the competitors. A player loses if they quit the match, if the announcer counts to 10 when one competitor is on the ground, or if they kill their opponent. Pinta tries to intimidate Krillin, but Krillin ignores him some more. Meanwhile, Piccolo is very stressed out about Shin, and he is even more stressed than before, because he will fight Shin in the first round.
Trivia. Number 1. The lie that Trunks tells Mighty Mask in order to distract him differs in the Japanese and English versions. Trunks deceives Mighty Mask by telling him that a pretty young lady wants to talk with him in the Japanese version, while Trunks tells Mighty Mask that a real scrawny guy wants to beat Mighty Mask at arm wrestling for 1000 zani in the English dub. This change was most likely made to hide Mighty Mask's lechery. Number 2. When Videl looks at her ball, she claims that it is 15, when in fact, it is 5. Number 3. When Gohan looks at the board to see who he will fight, the number 7 bracket is empty, but when the screen is zoomed into the board, the spot next to Gohan's name is no longer empty and has Kibito's name there.
Forfeit of Piccolo is the 6th episode of the World Tournament Saga and the 215th overall episode in the original dubbed and the uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on February 2nd, 1994. Its original American air date was October 8th, 2001. This episode begins with Mr. Satan being interviewed and asked about how he feels about the competition, and, as usual, he acts confident. When asked about his fight with Android 18, he acts surprised, saying that he was unaware of having a match with a woman. Everyone else who qualified is in a waiting area and Piccolo is still uneasy about his fight with Shin. Gohan looks concerned, and Videl asks him if he knows what is wrong. Kibito and Shin are talking, and Shin tells him that soon what they came for will be in their grasp. Goku is warming up, while Krillin is talking about Goku's match against Vegeta in the tournament, saying that it is like having the championship first. Goku and Krillin notice Piccolo's uneasiness. Krillin wants to fight Mr. Satan, but Android 18 says she wants to have the opportunity to beat him. The competition is about to start. Videl and Gohan's schoolmates are in the audience cheering Videl on. Bulma and Chi-Chi both are arguing about who will win the Vegeta and Goku fight. Yamcha tries to break them up and gets knocked over. The first match is Krillin against Pinta. Pinta seems overconfident since he is 4 or 5 times the size of Krillin. Krillin does not seem worried. Meron is worried, but Yamcha tells her that Krillin will win. Once again it shows Piccolo worried in the corner of the room, anxious about Shin. The match starts with Krillin and Pinta shows off, while Krillin remains very confident. Pinta starts off with some tumbling, but Krillin is still steady. Pinta tells Krillin to run home, but Krillin just shakes his head. Pinta gives Krillin the first punch free and Krillin knocks him out of the ring with no effort and wins the match. Shin and Piccolo are up next, while Trunks and Goten are arguing in the Mighty Mask suit. Shin feels confident, but Piccolo is still uneasy. The World Tournament announcer tells Piccolo to try not to blow up the arena, a reference to the Piccolo Jr. saga. On the ring, Shin and Piccolo have a very long stare down, and the crowd gets rowdy. After the stare down, Piccolo senses an enormous energy and forfeits the match before even fighting. He then realizes that Shin is different. Shin then realizes that Piccolo was once the guardian of Earth. The third match is about to start with Videl and Spopovitch. Everyone is cheering for Videl, and Spopovitch is freaking out in the corner, but Yami calls him to fight. When Shin passes Spopovitch, he senses a dark energy. As the episode ends, Spopovitch and Videl walk to the ring.
Trivia. Number 1. In the recap for the previous episode, when Yamu is looking into the ballet box, Kill is handed seen reaching in to take a number despite Yamu still being seen. Number 2. The ending credits in this episode spoil Shin's true identity as the Supreme Kai by crediting his voice actor as such before his identity has been officially revealed in the anime.
A Dark and Secret Power is the 7th episode of the World Tournament Saga and the 216th overall episode in the original dubbed and the uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on February 9th, 1994. Its original American air date was October 9th, 2001. It is time for Videl and Spopovitch to fight. On the last episode, Shin glares at Spopovitch with a lot of suspicion. Once Shin goes into the area with the rest of the fighters, he walks up to Piccolo. Piccolo, thinking that Shin is the Grand K, asks him if he is. Shin tells him that he is not, but Kibito tells Piccolo who Shin really is, the Supreme K. Piccolo is stunned by this, while Shin tells him to keep this to himself, because he does not want the others to know yet. He and Kibito then walk off. Goku walks up to Piccolo and asks him about Shin and says, "Should I straighten him out for you, Piccolo?" Piccolo, knowing that Shin is the Supreme K, begs Goku to not do so and asks Goku to leave Shin alone. This confuses Goku. On the ring, Videl is laying a beatdown on Spopovitch, easily knocking him around. However, no matter how many hits she lands, Spopovitch just keeps coming. Gohan is stunned by this, and even Goku realizes something is wrong. Her fans cannot understand it, and Mr. Satan refuses to believe it. Goku realizes that something is not right about Spopovitch and looks at Vegeta, who nods in agreement. Videl gets smacked around by Spopovitch, then nearly kicked out of the ring. However, Videl manages to catch herself and fly back into the ring without landing out of bounds. Gohan is happy that Videl's using the lessons he taught her, but Goku is still realizing something's wrong with Spopovitch. He's barely phased for the damage he's taken, and Goku can't feel his ki at all. When Videl becomes desperate, she uses a lot of force and kicks Spopovitch's head around, breaking his neck. The World Tournament announcer says she is disqualified for using excessive force and killing her opponent, but it seems that Spopovitch is still alive. Spopovitch gets up, turns his head back around, and starts to fight against Videl again. Everyone is shocked and stunned to see this. Spopovitch takes advantage of Videl's shock with a powerful punch to her face, but Videl manages to fly up and dodge his next one. Spopovitch, however, shocks everyone by flying up after her. Videl is crushed is the 8th episode of the World Tournament Saga and the 217th overall episode in the original dubbed and the uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on February 16th, 1994. Its original American air date was October 10th, 2001. Spopovitch chases after Videl and is coming towards her fast. Amazingly, the two fighters still have energy to go on, and Videl throws some very fast punches, but Spopovitch gains the upper hand again. He hits her and then fires a purple energy wave at her, and she flies down to earth, landing on the ring on all fours. Spopovitch lands too, and Goku and Killer wonder how he could have changed so much. At the last World Martial Arts Tournament, he was not able to fly or throw energy blasts. Even so, Videl manages to land some punches, but Spopovitch only retaliates in brutal punishment. Videl flies all over the place from his massive hits and kicks, yet she still refuses to give up and gets up to punch him. At this point in the fight, the tables are harshly turned against Videl. It is obvious that she does not have a chance. Spopovitch continues to pound on Videl. Mr. Satan still refuses to believe that his daughter is losing, and one of the tournament members insists that he should watch the match. Videl somehow musters enough strength to fight back a little, but he seems to have unlimited power, no matter how hard she punches and kicks. Spopovitch then kicks Videl so hard, so that she flies right outside of the ring, and as she is about to hit the ground, he grabs her leg and swings her back in the ring for another round of beating. Videl gets up miraculously and lunges at him, but he punches her in the face. He then kicks her in the air, and she lands on his knee. Spopovitch starts punching Videl in the face and then in the stomach before dropping her. Gohan watches the match's disgust and horror. The battle is very one-sided, and it seems as though Spopovitch might even kill her. Now, the Z fighters, especially Gohan, can barely stand to watch. He is having an extremely hard time controlling his inner anger towards Spopovitch's ruthless fighting. Goku turns to him and tells him to control himself and not to interfere with the fight. It looks like Gohan is ready to pop, controlling his severe agent side. Hearing Videl's cries of agony, Gohan decides to come to her aid. He turns Super Saiyan and his costume comes almost completely off as both the bandana and cape fall off, and he is on the brink of deciding whether to fly over and help or stay in despair, while Gohan turns Super Saiyan. Shin adopts a peculiar grin on his face, as if he is pleased about something. Videl's energy is non-existent in the fight, and before Spopovitch could hurt her further, his partner Yamu arrives and talks him out of it. Spopovitch now kicks her off the arena, and she touches the ground, mercifully ending the match. Gohan rushes up to cradle her in his arms and get her immediate medical attention. After he makes sure she is alive, Gohan yells out to Spopovitch, who now is standing next to the ring with his back turned. Gohan tells him to stop, and that the next time they meet, he will fight him and he, Gohan, will win and make him pay for what he did to Videl. Spopovitch and the other mysterious man fly away. At this point, Goku teleports to Korin Tower for some Senzu beans to help the now injured Videl. The scene then switches to Mr. Satan looking over his beaten daughter. He cannot comprehend what he sees. Videl tells Gohan in a frail, weak voice that he should get revenge on Spopovitch. Gohan leaves, and Mr. Satan soon realizes that Gohan is Videl's boyfriend. He becomes enraged that a boy as puny as him could be in love with her, because Mr. Satan told Videl that the only way she can have one is if he is strong. Mr. Satan certainly does not think much of Gohan. The episode then ends by showing Goku getting Senzu beans from Korin.
Trivia: this episode was heavily edited on various networks due to the amount of violence and blood, similar to the episode Gohan Attacks.